What up, everyone? This is Andrew Wright with another Review the Right Thing. Just some dude talking about shit on the internet. But hopefully somebody likes to watch me talk about shit on the internet. And I've just felt obligated to do a music review. I keep basically talking about it every time I do a video anymore. I just uploaded one this morning on a collection update. And just been, like I said I've been watching a lot of stuff on the internet, just following a bunch of YouTube reviews, just watching YouTubers I like, following a lot of Dead End Hip Hop. Those guys are pretty awesome. Following Mike C-Town's solo page, which is pretty sweet. He does a little bit more metal reviews, which definitely caters to also a lot of things that I like, because I would say, you know, I'm very passionate about metal and hip hop, probably as a bulk. And obviously there's various other things I'm into across the board. I just love music, and I think that every genre has something to offer me. And I also watch Anthony Fantano's channel a little bit too. I like his reviews, even if I don't tend to agree with him. Sometimes I think he can be a little bit too critical and not find something to enjoy about it. Which, you know, maybe is just a thing. You know, people love to hate. That's the same reason, I guess, people just give him a bunch of shit, and they're always so offended by his opinion. And it's kind of funny to me. Like, I have to laugh about it, and I'm sure at some point, if I ever get a larger following, I will also have to deal with people's hate on the internet, because when you state your opinion, if it doesn't, you know, coincide with how someone else feels, they are deeply offended. And that to me is just a hilarious concept, because you didn't write the music. Why are you fucking offended? Like, just because I didn't like some artist that you like, you're pissed? I get if the artist is pissed, because that's their art. But you have no fucking connection whatsoever other than the money that you put in. So anyways, it's just, so I have to laugh about it. And so I always laugh about, you know, every time somebody does a reaction video to an opinion that they made because of some flack that they heard in the comments, and they have to talk about those comments, and they're laughing as well, because it's absurd sometimes. People really get mad about an opinion, and it's an opinion. Music is subjective. That's why half the time I don't really like to dive into the lyrics, because it's subjective. I could feel one way about how someone wrote a song, and it could relate to you a totally different way. You know, and so the lyrics and the music being subjective, obviously people are going to feel differently about it. And that's what makes dialogue fun and debate fun and healthy, is because you can talk about things and possibly, you know, you'll give somebody new insight into a project that maybe they didn't think about it a certain way before. Maybe they then grow to appreciate that project more. You know, vice versa. Maybe you hate something, and somebody gives you their opinion on it and why they like it and yada, yada, yada. And maybe that helps you understand it more and, again, grow to appreciate it. You know, it's fun. But then people get so upset about it, and it's just like, guys, calm down, take a chill pill, go smoke a bowl, do whatever you gotta do, take a step back. Like, wow. So anyways, with that being said, I wanted to do a review on the new Reason album, because basically it's just been kind of, you know, trending lately, I guess, to a certain degree. Yeah, I just saw Anthony Fantano did a review on it where he was pretty harsh on it, actually. And I understand his critiques, and I'm actually going to bring up some of those as well. And then he's gotten some flack from Mac Miller fans about a line that he had in there that wasn't derogatory or negative at all towards Mac Miller. It makes a lot of sense with the context of the song. And I just don't understand people's opinion. Like, they get so angry about it. They feel so invested into it that your opinion crashes their world, and it's crazy. It's hilarious to me. So anyways, let's get this started. I'm done rambling on. But yeah, the new Reason album, Top Dawg Entertainment, they've been kind of pushing it a lot lately, because basically most of their artists, it's been several years since they've released anything. And I understand artists can't do something every year, or even multiple times a year like the Griselda crew. You know, sometimes you have to take a step back and reflect creatively on the project. Maybe you didn't like how it turned out as an artist. Because I'm sure artists critique their own stuff. I mean, how can you not? I'm critiquing my own videos all the time. I'm always watching my own content and going, wow, Andrew, you need to stop saying or this or that, or write your stuff down so you sound more concise, or at least think about it more and, you know, practice it aloud somehow before you start uploading the video so you don't sit there and sound like a moron. So anyways, they're always critiquing their own work. And so again, I should have written something down or something, because I had a good stream of conscious with that, and now I don't know where I was going with it. So let's just continue. Perhaps it'll spark something and I'll come back. Oh, yes. So, yeah, I understand they can't release albums like every year or multiple times a year. However, like, the Top Dawg guys have been a little bit laxed on releases, and I've heard that's partly because of Kendrick. Who knows? I've never really looked into it a whole lot. Maybe I should. But, you know, it's been a couple years since Ab-Soul's last. Obviously, been several years since Damn's come out. We haven't seen a new Isaiah Rashad in a long time. And so they have really been promoting this album. And I understand where some people may feel underwhelmed, and I really hope that this album gets a lot more love that it deserves, because I truly think it is a great piece. I think Reason's a great artist, great rapper, and I think it just should get the credit that it deserves. Now, it's not perfect. It has its problems, and we'll talk about that, or at least my gripes with it. But again, this is just my opinion. You might love it. So let's get into this. Album opens up with Something More. It's got some really awesome production in it. It sounds very Top Dawg right from the beginning. You can definitely tell it's got that influence from the artists that he's surrounded by. I think Top Dawg very much has that style and that sound they kind of go for, so they're releasing artists that kind of fit that mold. And yes, like I said, this kind of opens up very Top Dawg. Sounds like anything they would release. But that's not bad. Like, it's a great thing. I love the bars, or the beat on this. I think Reason's got some great flow. He's hitting us with some pretty awesome bars. And lyrically, I think it's a pretty great song. So, great opener. Next track, Stories I Forgot, is actually probably one of my favorite songs on the album. It's got this really awesome beat, kind of bounces back and forth between a little bit slower and a little bit faster of a beat, so then he switches up the delivery a little bit with it, not necessarily speeding up, but his vocals become almost like angry and anguished throughout this song, and it sounds really awesome. Again, he is just spitting bars over this beat, and he sounds pretty amazing. Also, some pretty awesome lyrics. This is basically a song talking about a lot of the things that he has seen over the years, stories that he's necessarily forgot, maybe just things that he's kind of pushed out of his mind because he's trying to get out of that life. He doesn't want to remember some of those things. They're very traumatic. But also, I mean, it has to have shaped how he is rose to prominence and how he's become who he's become. So, again, great song. Like this one a lot. Pop Shit is the next song on the album. Also another great song. Got a really classic beat on it. Some real great bass production on it. Schoolboy Q is the feature on this track. He's got an awesome verse on it. And overall, I think this is a pretty cool song. I definitely don't like it as much as the first two tracks, so this is kind of where the album tapers down for me for a minute, but then it picks right back up, and I think basically the last half of this album is where the strength of this album really lies. Showstop for me then being the next track, and being one of those tracks, I shouldn't have said track for me, but I wanted to flow into that. Anyways, it's one of those tracks for me that this is probably my least favorite song on this album. And it has nothing to do with like his rapping ability. He raps really well on this song. The beat's pretty good. But this is a very lazy attempt at trying to grab at a Kendrick crowd. You know, you're on Top Dawg. We understand that Kendrick is the face behind this label, but there's a lot of great artists, and yes, Top Dog has their sound, like I said, but every artist has their own things that make them stick out. And so I feel like by him kind of writing this song, it's a very lazy attempt at trying to sound a little bit like Kendrick. Like, be yourself. Like, the rest of this album doesn't. I get that it kind of feels Kendrick-esque, and maybe that's why people don't like it. But I think I think he is still kind of maybe finding his voice. This is the first album for Top Dog. I know he's had prior projects which I haven't really given any attention, but you know, maybe that was all on purpose. Regardless, I don't think it was a great choice. This song's very underwhelming to me. It just sounds like a Kendrick demo that was cut from an album. I think lyrically it's kind of childish, not really childish, but amateurish. You know, he, especially coming from the first several tracks where he is a lot more introspective, the lyrics are a lot more thought out. This just feels lazy. So it's my low point on the album for sure. Next song, Favorite. I can't say the other word, but Favorite. Pretty awesome song, picks back up overall. I think this has got a great beat on it too, some awesome production. And again, he's flowing pretty well on it too. I like, you know, kind of how he has that swagger in his voice. He, you know, it's, I'm the shit basically, you know, and talks about, you know, how he's come up and he's seen the things that he's seen, and other rappers, you know, are rapping about this stuff and they've never really experienced it. And so as a result, it's made him a, you know, amazing rapper, and he's his favorite person basically. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that confidence. I think it's awesome. And I think overall this song's really good. A little bit on the, I wish that maybe he would have taken more time, maybe some introspective lyrics in this. They're there, but I feel like it's very surface level and he's not digging as deep like he has in the first several tracks. And so we're getting back to the strength of the first couple tracks. It's definitely better than Showstop. So, like I said, yeah, we're getting back towards that direction, and I think this is where the album kind of picks back up for me. Fall, the next track, this is the song that pissed everybody off because of his reference to Mac Miller's death. And honestly, this song is so cleverly written. I feel like he really dug deep for this song, and not as a male in the business, because I feel like the first half of this song takes from perspective from female and how the music business basically just turns them into sex objects, essentially, because that's how men look at women, is just a piece of meat, which is insane to me because, like, I think it's hilarious how in European countries, sex is looked at as a totally different thing, and it's natural, and we're like a prude nation, but we're so perverted, and it's a weird fucking thing. I don't understand how it works. But anyways, so we basically exploit these women into becoming these sex objects, and them as an artist is no longer relevant. They are basically just put out there for eye candy. And, you know, basically fucked by the record labels. So this song is, you know, talks a lot about, you know, that. There's a line with, you know, you have to find a manager that wants to get behind her without wanting to get behind her. And it's just like, you know, they have to basically sell themselves to these record labels to get a deal. And it's just crazy. But then also bringing into, obviously, male artists or just artists in general, you get build up and build up and build up. You know, there's all this pressure put on you. Perhaps you become addicted to drugs. And then, like many other artists, he just happened to pick Mac Miller's name and people are blowing up. But like many other artists have OD'd accidentally because of the life, basically. I mean, earlier this year, 2 rappers that I just discovered within the last 3 months died, and I didn't know until I discovered them, and it's just like, that sucks, because now I can't listen to new material from them, I can't watch them grow as an artist, and so it's just a really sad thing. Both of them really young too, and so those are just the harsh truths of the reality that artists deal with. Slow Down, another really great track on this album, has some pretty awesome production in it. Almost soulful inspired, but really, really cool. Flick It Up, next song on here. Definitely got a more drive-friendly, cruising kind of beat. Pretty awesome, great production, awesome heavy bass. Absol is the feature on this track. He's got a great verse. And basically this is kind of just like a, Flick It Up. This is kind of one of those songs where he is, kind of flaunting the money and the life, but not in like a bad way. Like I don't think he's spinning in any kind of like I'm highly successful, fuck you kind of light. This is very, I feel like, normal for a rap song, without being too blingy in a way. I guess if I can say blingy, if people understand what I'm trying to convey. He's not trying to flaunt his richness as heavily lyrically as, could be in other songs, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's a pretty awesome song still. I like this a lot. Sauce is the next track with Vince Staples. Also a pretty awesome song as well. Really enjoy this. I think the last half of this album, like I said before, is where the strength of this album really lies. I think basically this whole back half is pretty awesome. There's no skippable tracks. I really enjoy all of it. Sauce opens up with this really awesome piano, has a really great beat on it, and both guys rap a little bit slower on this song. It's definitely, delivery-wise, has a little bit, I can't say lazy. I never know what the word I want to use is, but it's definitely that more relaxed kind of somber delivery. But it's pretty awesome. Vince Staples got a great verse in it, like I said. And another awesome song. Extinct is a great track with Isaiah Rashad and JID. Isaiah Rashad obviously being a Top Dawg member. JID, I think, is now too. Gosh, I should probably look at that stuff before I even open my mouth, but whatever. So great song. I really like the production on this one a lot too. It almost has like this, I can just picture a little toy piano in the back where they're like playing the keys on it, but then also kind of throwing in some strings. Pretty awesome bassy hit to the beat, and both guys, all three guys just spit over this production, over this beat. It's pretty awesome. Great flows, great bars, awesome follow-up track. West Side kind of goes back to a more soulful, kind of somber R&B kind of feel. This song I definitely feel dealing with loss, maybe even relationship loss, separation, fighting, that kind of thing between a loved one, but then also deals with personal loss in the form of death, seeing friends and family go, and, just life. Death is a big part of life, so, and I guess losing people and re-meeting people or becoming reacquainted with new people, whatever, is just a normal process of life. Gossip is the next track on the album. Also a pretty awesome song. This is another one of the ones, though, that I feel like the chorus is really catchy, but it's just a little lazy. I wish that he would have just put something else other than Gossip, because the verse-wise, I mean, he's spitting some awesome bars on this. There's some really cool lyrics, basically talking about a lot of the shade that people in the music industry throw around to each other. And it's just a pretty awesome song. It's got some great introspective lyrics in it. I just really like this track. And closing off the album, we have Windows Cry, which is, I hear it as, I guess, like a song where it's like his coming up, maybe not even necessarily his coming up, but an artist coming up and their struggle to stand out and get noticed. They continue to put out music. They deal with all the stresses of, life and all the bullshit that life puts on you and all the unfairness that life puts on you. But yeah, you still persevere. And at the end, I can't tell if he's putting the contract and selling or in signing out that contract, equating it to something negative. Because obviously, he then signs a Top Dawg. This is his biggest release, or his first release on the label. They've really been pushing it. And so it's hard to gauge whether he feels that that's a negative thing or not, like he's selling out, almost. But regardless, it's, another great introspective track where he's really speaking about the rise to fame and finally that breakthrough to success, where he then gets a record deal and basically gets more notoriety and his name gets out there. So I think overall, with everything being said, obviously I've got some gripes with this album. There's some things that I was a little underwhelmed with, especially with it being a Top Dawg release and we haven't seen anything for years, so this is, their push, I guess, on something to keep us satisfied until the next Kendrick or Isaiah Rashad hopefully finally does something. Or Schoolboy. I know Schoolboy just put out something last year, but I'm always down to hear another Schoolboy album. So regardless, I understand people's issue with maybe being underwhelmed with this album, but we did just get a Schoolboy last year, which was great. And, maybe this isn't as strong as that, but what do you expect? This is his first debut major album. He's done plenty of mixtapes first. So this is him kind of getting a feel for the industry and getting his feet wet. So I'm eager to see what he puts out in the future. But all that being said, again, I'm feeling a pretty good 7 on this piece. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's definitely worth revisiting and listening to over and over again. And I'm eager to see where he goes from here. And it's unfortunate that he's just already gotten so much backlash maybe because of timing or people's expectations and their opinions and their expectations being so important that, if you don't meet those expectations, they just shit all over everything. Just big old piles of poop. But anyways, what did you guys think about this record? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you indifferent? Will you listen to it again? Are you going to check out further material from him in the future? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like my videos, click subscribe, go back and check out some old content. Click the little bell, it'll notify you when I put up more stuff. Like my videos, please, and look forward to more reviews. Hopefully the reviews will keep coming. Obviously I've done toy reviews and stuff like that, but the music reviews and my Blu-ray reviews have been very minor. I've done a lot of collection videos. So, in collection videos I have a lot of fun with, but they're kind of lazy, I guess, to a certain degree. I'm not really talking about anything. I'm not forcing myself to have dialogue about these projects. So, here's a review, and hopefully I'll have some more coming out to you in the future. I'm going to end by saying there's other projects that I would have liked to have reviewed first or over this, but just because of all the stuff I wanted to talk about it, like I said in the beginning. So thanks again for watching. Peace, guys. Stay safe and love you all.